Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the intergalactic space arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room, where I typically believe bigger is better, so how about a game system that's no larger than a pack of gum? It's the GameStick. Let's plug this in and see how it compares to the Atari 5200. Classic Game Room believes in science. And what could be more scientific than comparing the GameStick to the Atari 5200, which is like the sun dwarfing the intergalactic space arcade. But what if you're looking for a game system to plug directly into the HDMI port on the back of your television that downloads games from the internet and plays them with a Bluetooth controller? Well, then you might be interested in the GameStick, which is so tiny that it actually fits comfortably inside the controller. And then the controller fits comfortably inside the Atari 5200, for convenience. Think of this as a flash drive that plays games. It's not streaming them like OnLive. You download the games from the internet and store them on the GameStick. They call it the portable big screen games console, so it's like a pack of juicy fruit mixed with an Xbox. Funded by more than 5,500 backers on Kickstarter who raised over $600,000. Which is like a drop in the bucket compared to some of the big companies in the industry, but this doesn't cost very much either. However, it does not taste as good as a pack of juicy fruit. That stuff's delicious, but juicy fruit doesn't have an HDMI output. After spending some time with this, there's things I like about it, some things I don't, but what you can't do is compare it directly to something like the PlayStation 4. It's more like an Android tablet plugged into your television with a controller. And a streamlined, friendlier marketplace. The GameStick isn't about pushing technology on the front end. You're not going to find the best graphics. It's more about convenience and delivery. So if you're more into casual games and you want to play them with a controller instead of the touch screen, the GameStick may be for you. After unpacking your GameStick, you charge the controller, plug this thing into your television, connect to the internet, and create an account, which then gives you access to the GameStick Marketplace, which is like a condensed version of the Android Marketplace. I have a very early version of this thing, so depending on when you watch this review, it may change a bit. But the games are what's really going to make or break the GameStick, because it's in the title. We have the stick, now we need the games. Now, I've been doing this long enough that I know what a lot of you guys and gals are thinking. Oh no, a market filled with a bunch of crappy mobile games. Well, don't call Raiden Legacy a crappy mobile game. It's great, and Repulse is very good as well. But obviously, there's some lesser titles you'll want to avoid. But here's what you get with the GameStick, a charger, and this thing also works with the standard Android phone chargers, by the way, that you can use to charge the controller. The GameStick also plugs directly into your TV, or you can use this supplied HDMI extender if all of the HDMI ports are tightly packed together. And you can power it with a provided USB cable or another charger. So, for what it's worth, this thing works, but it all comes down to the games, and you cannot compare anything, that I've seen at least, to a big AAA title. And if that's what you're interested in, the GameStick is probably not the game system for you. Like, Shadowgun just does not compare to Gears of War. And the GameStick controller, while functional, is not as good as the PlayStation 3 DualShock 3 controller. But on the other hand, the entire game system also costs about the same price as a replacement controller. What I like about the GameStick is convenience, price, and that they're freeing some decent mobile games from the touch screen. No longer do you have to fumble about trying to get some other controller to work with your phone or Android tablet. The GameStick comes with a controller and just plugs directly into your big screen TV, so it's actually quite a cost savings if you compare it to a lot of Android tablets and other accessories. Presumably, they're working to get more developers on board, but games like Riptide GP are quite fun. It's a nice cross between Wave Race and Hydro Thunder, and this is Fist of Awesome, which is pretty much worth the price of the game system right there. I think this would be a great home for a lot of retro games, so I'd love to see Sega and Konami jump on board. And obviously, its biggest competitor is the Ouya. What's the difference between the two? I don't know, I haven't played an Ouya. You can set parental controls, and there's password protection on the marketplace, so your kids can't spend $1 million there. And the games are cheap enough that they're not going to break the bank. Some of them, like Fist of Awesome, are surprisingly good. It's the GameStick. Yes, it has its limitations, but it's not $500. You don't need to spend $60 on a subscription fee, $100 on a memory stick, $50 on name brand cables, and you don't need some kind of stupid-ass motion control bar on your television to use it. Not that I'm speaking about anything specifically. So, in conclusion, after using science, I've decided that this is better than the Hyperscan, but not as good as the Sega Genesis. How about we start by getting some Genesis games on the GameStick, and then a controller adapter kit. It's the GameStick.